Today we are checking out non-Muslims fasting Ramadan and documenting it on TikTok. Is this even a good thing or is it cultural appropriation? Let's see.
My friends invited me over for my first official iftar.
Bismillah. Alright, let's eat, baby.
Non-Muslim TikTokers are taking part in this year's Ramadan, the Muslim holy month of fasting, and documenting their experience on the platform.
The next 2 weeks, I'm going to be taking part in Ramadan and I'm going to be showing you my journey. And it's something that I really want to challenge myself with to see if I can actually do it for a longer period of time.
I'm not Muslim, guys, but I see all of my Muslim friends fasting for 30 days and I just think that's amazing. So I'm going to try one day fasting as a non-Muslim and let's see how I get on. Even had some dates for later, but we're not even 2 hours in and I drink so much water usually. So I was struggling already. I had back-to-back meetings before lunch and the amount of talking I did, my mouth was feeling so dry. My doctor's appointment at lunchtime kept my mind off food until the person next to me was eating Thai chili sensations. But anyway, headed back from the doctor's and let me know if this is normal, but my breath by this point was horrible. My friend told me that I could eat at 5:47, so that was going to be whilst I was at the gym, so I was just preparing. On the way to the gym now, and doesn't it feel good to have the sun back out again? I was waiting patiently until 5:47 and then this water disappeared. Got in some much needed snacks and surprisingly, after I'd eaten a little bit, I was actually feeling quite full. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Follow me on my journey grinding in 2025.
As a Muslim, when I see this, I feel happy for them. They are not Muslims yet, but they are taking a step towards Islam. They are getting closer to the community. I made a video on the channel a few days ago in which I invited non-Muslims to go visit the nearest mosque. They don't need to convert to Islam the second they hear about it. Now the first question that might come to a Muslim's mind, what if they are doing it for clout? Someone actually asked this question to a Muslim woman on a podcast. Let's check it out.
Is non-Muslim influencers practicing Ramadan appropriation?
I'm gonna be careful with how I answer that. If by them practicing Ramadan and truly understanding the why behind it and getting a taste of Islam in the best way possible, if that will eventually open the doors to their heart to accept Islam as their religion, fast all you want, baby boo.
Yeah.
Come to my house for iftar.
But the one thing that could be said that might be a negative is that like they're doing it to attract a Muslim audience, but then like outside of Ramadan they're just gonna get back to their original content, and like you're pulling all these people in who like you for your Muslim focused content, I guess you could say, but then you will be more like exposing them to things that wouldn't really fall in line with the Muslim values or Muslim religion and our rules or ideas basically. So
okay, so let's talk about this. One, you can't really know what's in someone's heart, if they are doing it sincerely or if they are doing it for clout. And you know what? I'm okay with both. You want to go viral on social media for talking about Islam and your sole purpose is to just go viral? Okay, do it. You're still spreading Islam. Someone might see you. Maybe your heart is not clean, but you'll convey Islam to someone whose heart is. Again, I'm not saying that these people aren't clean or aren't trying to actually do the thing. I assume that they're all really sincere, but I'm also saying that this is irrelevant. It reminds me of people who say that people like Mr. Beast or other famous YouTubers, when they do charity and they film it, oh, it's only for followers, it's only for clout. Okay, but they're still doing a good thing. They are getting views out of it, but they are spreading positivity. They're actually giving money to people in need. So it's a win-win. And in Islam, you are allowed to do good and also take something out of it. Absolutely nothing wrong with this. Also, what's the alternative? Are we gonna police people's hearts? Check their intentions first? And let's assume that they're actually insincere. Do you know how many people started learning Islam just for the purpose of disproving it? They hated Islam so much because of negative propaganda, so they wanted to prove to themselves and to the people around them that Islam is wrong, that it doesn't make sense and all this. And these people ended up being Muslims. So I don't care how someone gets introduced to Islam. For example, check out this dude.
I'm not a Muslim, but this year I will be participating in the holy month of Ramadan. Ramadan is a very special month for the people of the religion of Islam and involves fasting, going without food and water from dawn till dusk for the entire 30 days. The official dates of Ramadan being pushed back by 10 days each year, as the Islamic calendar has 355 days in it as opposed to to the Roman calendar which we use, which has 365, with Ramadan this year falling over the entirety of the month of March. One of my key aims over this fasting period being to foster greater understanding among the English-speaking and non-Muslim community about Islamic practices and about Ramadan itself. Due to the fact that much of Islamic theology and intricacies surrounding the practices are centered around the Arabic language, I feel that by translating these concepts into English, it'll make it a lot more easier for people to understand who don't speak Arabic. And as a result, I'm going to be vlogging and documenting the entire 30 days of this year's Ramadan and my experience as a non-Muslim. And if this is something that interests you, make sure to hit the follow button.
So he's very straightforward about it. He's interested in languages. One of them is Arabic. But how many people follow him for his language content and will get introduced to Islam through him? Even if he himself never becomes a Muslim, that's a fantastic thing that he's doing. Finally, TikTok is full of Muslims talking about how they started fasting Ramadan before they became Muslim and that led them to Islam.
Pretty sure we all know that one non-Muslim that's going to be fasting this year. Last time my friend did that, the guy converted, left a year later, so what was the point? But hey, I'm never going to give up on trying to convert my friends. I want to see you guys in Jannah. So when my friend told me just now, Munib, I'm going to fast this year in Ramadan, I said, you know what, go ahead, I'm here to help. I said, but hold on, I'm kind of curious, why are you going to fast?
Drink. You're okay. You got 2 minutes.
No, I have to stop a minute before.
Yes, good job. Look at you. Good. That's it. Now repeat after me.
Also, there's something else that might lead them to Islam, which is practicing self-control. Watch this guy and what he says.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, if you speak to non-Muslims about Ramadan, they will always think it's so extreme, not even water. You can't eat all day. And what you realize about the West when you live a life as a Muslim is anything that is slightly inconvenient or anything that is slightly difficult will end up coming across as extreme. For example, I'll never have alcohol, even like a drop if it's in like a white wine sauce, for example. It's an extremity to them. Same thing about, praying 5 times a day. For us, alhamdulillah, it only takes like 20 minutes of our day anyway. But to them, it's like an extreme because it's like an inconvenience in its rigidity. We don't have intimacy outside of marriage. And this is basic to us. This is why, inshallah, Muslims strive to get married, but at the same time, it's an extreme to people in the West. And that's the thing. People use the term extremist, right? But you don't really have to do that much. All you have to do is not drink water for 12 hours and people might start considering you extreme. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, because the biggest hurdle between people and converting to Islam is sacrificing their comfort. Once you cross that bridge, it's very easy for you to become Muslim. But here's the problem. A Muslim might think, and I thought that to be honest, do they get any reward from Allah for fasting? I mean, at the end of the day, for them it counts as sport. As long as they are not Muslim, they are not gonna get let into heaven. Believing in Allah is the first step and everything else comes after, right? Fasting is not gonna help you in the day of judgment if you are not a Muslim to begin with.
Sheikh, is it acceptable for non-Muslims to fast in participation of Ramadan? Look, man, I'm getting a lot of these questions and it's beautiful. Man, non-Muslims, you guys want to, see how it feels to fast and see the benefits of fasting from a physical, worldly perspective and self-discipline perspective and dietary perspective. Awesome, man, go for it. We're going to be happy for you. But there's no spiritual growth without faith in God, because the actions are according to the intentions. And if you're not doing it for God, you're just doing it for your body, for, learning and stuff. Of course, you're going to get all of those things. But in the process, try to learn how Muslims also connect to God spiritually in Ramadan. May Allah guide us all to the truth.
So it's important to make this point to let our friends and acquaintances know that them fasting Ramadan is not gonna help them in the afterlife. Otherwise, we are misleading them. We are portraying Islam as something that it's not, especially in this day and age where the message that all religions are the same is pretty much ubiquitous. So it's important to make this distinction, but to also let them know that this is a very good step in the right direction and help them take the next step, inshallah. Thank you very much for watching this video. Ramadan Kareem, and see you in the next one.